And for these squares, I am going to be using a size 5.5 millimeter or an eye hook, and I'm using medium 4 weight yarn. This is acrylic. I'm going to make my magic ring, chain 2 more there. So that's chain 3, that's counting as our first double crochet. Going to do 2 more doubles, and that's our first side. Going to chain 2, 3 double crochets in that ring, two sides and our corner, chain 2 for our next corner, 3 more double crochets in that magic ring, chain 2 for the corner, 3 more doubles in the magic ring, I'm going to tighten that ring, and I'm going to do a half double crochet in the top of that chain 3. So half double crochet in the top there. And what that does is it puts you into the very corner. Instead of doing a chain 2 and you are attached over here, this one puts you right in the middle, which is pretty cool. All right, so you're going to chain 3 for your first double crochet of the corner. You're going to do 1 more double crochet into that corner space. I'm going to chain 1 and do a double crochet in the second double crochet. There. So you've got your corner, and then you've got your chain 1, skipping 1 double crochet in that double crochet, chain 1, skipping the next double crochet, and we're going to do 2 doubles in that corner. Okay, chain 2 for your corner space, and you're going to do 2 more double crochets in that corner. And we're going to chain 1, skip that double crochet underneath, and we're going to double into the next. Chain 1, skip the stitch underneath, and 2 double crochets in the corner. Chain 2 for our corner space, 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. Chain 1, skipping that double right there, and double crocheting into that next double. Chain 1, 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space. The chain 2 space. Chain 2, 2 double crochets into that corner. Chain 1, skip that 1 stitch and 1 double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, skip that double crochet and chain or 2 double crochets into this corner. So you have two doubles. That chain three counts as a double. Then we've got our other double crochet here. Got our chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, two doubles in the corner, and we do that all the way around. We're going to do our half double crochet in the top of that chain three. We're going to chain three for our first double crochet. Now we're going to put another double crochet into this corner, and we're going to double crochet in each chain one space all the way around. So we've got our corner. I'm going to work into my next double crochet, my next double crochet, my next chain one space. I'm going to go right into that space there, not into the chain, just into the space. Double crochet into my next double, double crochet into my next chain one space, double crochet into my next double, double crochet into my last double of that side there, two doubles into my corner space, chain two double crochets into that chain two space for the other side of the corner. I'm going to do the same thing I did on this row, and I'm going to do a double crochet in each stitch and each chain one space, each stitch and each chain one space all the way across. And in each corner, you're going to do two doubles, chain two, two doubles. And I'll meet back with you at the end of our round. And I have finished my round, and I'm just going to do that half double crochet into the top of the chain three space there. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to cut my yarn because I'm going to do a color chain. So that's the first section. My next color, I'm going to do orange. I'll show you show you my colors here. So what I'm doing is I am doing the center, one color, and then I am alternating, I'm changing to another color, I'm doing my accent, going back to that first color there and another color, and then I'm finishing it off with the accent color. So those are the two that I'm doing. And I'm doing my third with the center that's red, and then I'm going to go into orange, and it will be one row of orange, one row of the blue, one row of orange, and then I will finish off in a white. This section here will be white on this one. So I'm just alternating the colors to make it that I have one each with the same color center, and you can see the pattern that I have there. So I have one with a center of orange, goes orange, white, red, white, red, orange. This one will go red, orange, white. And then the accent colors are staying in the same spot. So it's in the middle of that second row of color that I have. I hope that makes sense. And then the accent color is around the border. So my next color I'm going to use is my orange. And I'm doing a standing double crochet. So I'm just going to start with my slip knot there. You can start in any corner you'd like. I'm going to wrap around my yarn, hold tight to those two, put it into the corner, my hook into the corner, pull up a loop, wrap around. I'm holding the tail of that slip knot there, pull through two and pull through two. So that is a standing double crochet. It looks just like a double. It was just started from a standing like alone position instead of being connected to something, another stitch over here. So I'm doing two doubles here, and this is going to be a solid row. So I'm going to work in each stitch all the way across. And then in each corner, I am doing two doubles, chain two, two doubles in each of those corner spaces. So it's two doubles in the corner, double crochets all the way across that row, across that side there, two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets in each corner, and then just working in each stitch all the way across. So I will meet you back here when we meet up at this corner, and I will show you the next step. And I have completed this round, and I'm going to do the same thing that I have done on every round. I'm going to do that half double crochet in that starting stitch, and I'm going to chain one, and I am going to cut my yarn. So I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to do that accent color. So mine is the blue, and I'm going to do the same thing, slip knot, and I'm going to do a standing double crochet into that corner space. And one more double in that corner. I'm going to chain one, skip that next stitch, and I'm going to double crochet into the next. Chain one. This is the same thing that we did for this row. So every time you chain one, you're going to skip a stitch and work into the next stitch. Chain one, skip a stitch, work a double crochet into the next. Chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next. And do that all the way across. All right, so I have one stitch left, and I have chained one, so I'm going to skip that and work two double crochets into my corner. Chain two, and two double crochets into my corner. All right, and I'm just going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning stitch. And I've completed this row. I'm going to do the same thing, half double crochet in the first stitch of this round. And because this is my accent color, I'm going to clip my yarn here, chain one, my yarn, pull that all the way through and pull that tight. All right, and then I'm going to continue with my orange color. And that orange is going to be just a solid row of working two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets in each corner, and working in each stitch and each chain space, just like we did down here. Show you what that looks like. Our standing double crochet. We have our slip knot, wrap around, go into our space, pull up a loop, wrap around, go through two, wrap around, go through two, standing double right there. I'm going to do one more double in that corner, Now I'm going to double crochet in this double here, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet right in that chain space, not in the chain, just in the space. Double crochet in the next double crochet in the next chain space, and you're going to work that all the way across your side. And remember, each corner gets two doubles, chain two, two doubles. And I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning. And I've finished this row. So now I have my white row left. And what it's going to be is a row of solid, a row of double crochet, chain one, double crochet, like this row, and then another row of solid. Or standing double crochet in any corner. It's two double crochets, one double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And at the end, you'll do two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets. That row is finished, and I have started my next one by chaining three, and I'm going to work one more into that corner space. And this row, I am chaining one. I'm going to skip one and work into the next with a double crochet. Make sure I'm on track. All right. Chain one, skip one, double crochet into the next. All right, and this is what this round will be. It's the double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets for your corner. I'm all done with this row. I have done my half double crochet into the first stitch there, and I've got one chain. I'm going to chain two more. So I've got three chains there for my corner. I'm going to do one more double crochet into that corner space. Now I'm going to do a double crochet into each stitch and each chain space all the way around. And my corners again are two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets, and I will meet back with you at the end of this round. That round is all finished, and now I'm going to add my last row, and that is a row of single crochets. So I'm going to do a standing single crochet into my corner. So that is just going into my space, bringing up a loop. I hang on to the tail there, wrap around, bring through both those loops. I did start with a slip knot there. All right, and then I'm going to do just the one double or one single in the corner, and I'm going to single crochet into each stitch all the way across. Single crochet in each stitch all the way. And then your corner is going to be one single, chain two, I'm sorry, one single, chain one, one single. So one single, chain one single in your corners. And I'll meet you at the end here. And then I will show you how to put all of the pieces together to form your purse. And I have finished this row. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to attach this last stitch here. So I have my single and my other single, the first one that I did. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that stitch there. Chain one, and I'm going to leave my yarn attached because we are going to start attaching these squares. I'm going to show you what that's going to look like. So don't mind my tails. Did not weave those in yet. You could if you wanted to. You could weave those in as you go or all together at the end. All right, so this is how our bag is made up. You take our squares and you're folding them in half, point to point. This. And so it will be laying like this. Right, so that is going to be our bag. We're going to seam up these points here. I don't know if this is the order I want them in or not. I'm gonna mess around with it a little bit to see if this is the order I want or if I want it a little bit different. I think I might change. So do I want that? I think I like it like that. Why? I don't know. That's just the one I'm going to choose. All right. So, and then up here, we are going to do the strap for our bag here. So I'm going to show you how to seam these together. We're going to lay them open. This. So these are all the wrong sides facing here. And then they would all fold in together like that. Actually, I'm going to work on the front side. So I'm going to do my seams on the front side. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to open these up here. I'm just going to seam down this first side here. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to have my yarn underneath here. So I'm going to have my yarn going this direction. It is going to end up being underneath both of these squares as I go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into that chain one space there on the other square. So in my chain one space for that corner, I'm going to slip stitch right there. Okay, and then my next stitch, I'm going to go into the back loop only. So you see that is the front loop and that is the back loop. I'm only going to go in the back loop. And then I'm only going to go into the back loop of this side as well, of that next stitch. So I've got my loop that I had on there from that slip stitch that I just did in the corner. Then I have my the loop from this square, and then this loop is from this square. And that is just going through the stitches. I didn't bring any yarn through yet. So now I'm going to wrap my yarn around and I'm going to go through all three of those loops. And I am maneuvering my hook to go in through those stitches smoothly so that they don't catch on the stitches. So again, I'm going to go into, I just worked into that one, so I'm going to go into the first one of my top square there, just the back loop only. I'm going to go into the bottom square, the next stitch. Grab my yarn, go through both loops from those squares. I'm turning my hook and going through that other square and now through the slip stitch. Okay, and you can keep these pretty loose so you don't bunch up your project as you seam. I'm going to go into my next stitch here, back loop only for my top square, and then top back loop only for my bottom square. Wrap my yarn around, bring through the bottom, bring through the top, bring through the slip stitch. And you can see that is making a nice flat join right there. I'm going to show you a few more times. Go into the top square, into the bottom square, wrap your yarn around, bring it through the bottom square, bring it through the top square, bring it through your slip stitch, and keeping it nice and loose. And this one is really one of those things where it is very helpful to have it on a flat surface, like on a table, so that you can lay them out like this and just see where all the stitches are and line them up. And making sure that the end of your hook is facing the right direction to go through the stitches easily is really key for this. So I did that. I'm twisting it around to go through my stitch this way because I feel like that is the easiest way for the hooked end of my hook to go through those stitches. If you have a different way of turning your hook, then do whatever works best for you. There's no wrong way. If you would prefer doing this with just a slip stitch all the way across, like if you put right sides facing and just seam up the back and have your slip stitch seam in the inside of your bag, you can also do that. I just like the way that this join looked for this particular bag. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to do this all the way across the square, and I will meet you back at the end of this side. I'm at the end of this side, and I'm just going to do the same thing in the chain one corner space here. Do my slip stitch. All right. And now what we're going to do is to fold this over. So that is my side. This is the bottom. I'm going to flip it over this way so we can see where my seam is. So that was the seam I just completed. My yarn is attached over, get it untangled real quick. All right, so that is the seam we just completed. That's the inside. This is the outside. So I just flipped it. This is the bottom and the side. And we have our seam we just completed. My yarn is attached over here. And now I'm going to do the same thing and attach this side all the way across. So we already did our slip stitch in our chain one corner space, and we're going to work across this side as well. So going into my next stitch here, the same way that we did the other side, we're just seaming up this side as well. Mm, yeah, that stitch. And then over here is this stitch. Wrap my yarn around, go through the bottom, go through the top, go through slip stitch. And again, into the top, into the bottom, grab my yarn, through the bottom, through the top, through the slip stitch. I'm just going to do this all the way across, and I'll meet you when we get back to the end. All right, I have finished seaming this side together. So now I have this side and this side seamed together. Now I'm going to attach my third square here. So just like I did before, I did the slip stitch into the chain one space from both sides of this square. And now I'm going to do that. Oh, that tail's in the way. I'm going to do a slip stitch into this square as well to attach that. Just a quick little slip stitch to attach it. Mm. So in that chain one space, there we go. And just a slip stitch there. Now I'm going to be working into all of the stitches. I'm going to do that first stitch, on the top, and first stitch on the bottom, bring my yarn through the bottom, through the top, and through the slip stitch. And in the next one, top square, bottom square, bring it through both of those and the slip stitch. Top square, bottom square, and bring through all of those. Right, and do that all the way around to the end. And we're just going to wrap around the same way that we did the first two sides, the way that we did these two and how we wrapped it around here and went up. We're going to do the same thing for this side in the corner. I will meet you when all of your sides are connected. I'm here at the end of my row joining here. So I have my chain one space. I'm going to work in there, and I'm going to work into my chain one space from the top of this square as well. Work my slip stitch. I'm going to chain one, tighten that up there, and I'm going to snip my yarn here, leave it long enough tail to sew in. Do that throughout your piece so you can sew in all your ends. All right, now what I've got is I have my bag that is all attached. You can see the inside there, all my lovely tails that I haven't sewn in yet. Just ignore that. All right, so what I'm going to do is add a handle to this. Now I'm going to do something where it's just over the shoulder, where it ends up like waist level, pretty much like by your elbow, waist level. So I'm going to do a short handle, but you could do a larger handle if you want it to be a crossbody bag or something like that. You can make the strap as long or as short as you would like. But I'm just going to do a smaller one. And I'm going to do this in the color of this square here so that the part that I see up here with the handle is also going to match this. You can choose whatever color you want. You could make this whole bag a solid color. You could do everything solid except the accent colors. You could mix it up however you want. It's your bag. You make it for you. All right, so ignoring all my tails that I'm going to weave in later, I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook here. I'm going to attach it to the chain one space of this point of my bag. So this square, I'm going to just do a closer so you can see. I'm going to go into that chain one space and I'm just going to do a slip stitch here. And I'm going to make some chains. I'm going to chain the length of what I want my strap to be. And let's see how many that is for the length that I want. And I'll let you know what I come up with in just a moment. All right, and I attached this to this side and I just put it around my shoulder real quick to see if that was the height that I wanted. And because this will like close up a little bit like that, it does reach where I want it to reach, where the bottom of the bag reaches about where my hip is. So that's where I want mine to land. So that is a good length for me. I did 55 chains all the way across. I'm going to make sure that my chain does not twist all the way across, and then I'm going to slip stitch it into that chain one space on the opposite side of my bag. And slip stitch there. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working down and around, I'm going to be working around the V part of this bag. And when I get to this chain, I'm going to be working the chain and then doing another loop around here. I'm going to do 2 rows on this side, and then I'm going to flip it around and do 2 rows on the other side so that the, so that I have, a bit of a, edging here with that. So the way that my hook is facing, I'm going to flip my bag around so I can work from right to left. And the first thing I'm going to do is single crochet in that first stitch there. So I've got my uh, chain attached to my chain one space, and I'm going to work a single crochet into that first single crochet and single crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to work that down the side of the bag, and I'm going to do a little bit of something different at the point. So I'm going to work and leave, let's see, 4 stitches open. I'm going to work all the way down till I have 4 stitches left of this square. Okay, we are 4 stitches away from the corner of our square here. So I've got 4 stitches left. I'm going to do a half double crochet in my next one. So wrap my yarn around, go into that space, pull up a loop, wrap around, go through all 3. Now I'm going to do 2 double crochets together. What that is you wrap your yarn around. You're going to go into your next stitch, bring up a loop, wrap around, bring through 2. Okay, now wrap your yarn around, go into your next stitch, grab your loop, wrap around, go through 2. So now you see you have your half double here, you've got your partial double crochet and another partial double crochet. Now what we're going to do is wrap our yarn around and go through all 3 of those loops. So that has given you a 2 double crochet together. Now we're going to do something similar to that, but we're going to do 3 double crochets together. So in our next space, we're going to wrap our yarn around, go into our stitch, pull up a loop, wrap around, bring through 2. Our next space is that chain space from where all 3 of those squares meet together. So we're going to wrap our yarn around, go into that space, wrap around our yarn, bring up a loop, wrap around, go through 2. You've got your 2 partials there. Now we're going to do one more in this next stitch here. So wrap our yarn around, go into this stitch, pull up a loop, wrap around, pull through 2. Now I have 3 partial double crochets on my stitch, and that was my last stitch that I did. So now I'm going to wrap my yarn around, go through all of the loops on my hook. You see how that has gathered that together really nicely and isn't gapping. So that's what those 2 double crochets together and 3 double crochets together is doing right here. It's bringing these corners closer together. Now I have one more 2 double crochet together to do here. I'm going to wrap my yarn around, go into my next stitch, pull up a loop, wrap around, go through 2, wrap around, go into my next stitch, pull up a loop, wrap around, go through 2. Oops. Okay, so I've got my last stitch there, got my 2 partial double crochets. I'm going to wrap my yarn around my hook and go through all 3 of those loops. Now I have my half double crochet in the next space, and from there you are just going to work all the way up to your chain that is attached here, and I'll meet you when we get here and I'll show you the next step. Now I have gotten all the way to where I've attached my chain, and what I'm going to do is single crochet into this chain 1 space that I have my chain attached to. And now I'm going to work in each chain with a single crochet. I'm going to work in each chain all the way to the other side of the bag. So just like you'd work in a chain any other way, getting right into chain. And when we do our other side, we are going to be working into this side of the chain. So make sure you're only picking up that one loop and leaving the other side free, because we will be working into that side on our other side of our handle. So go ahead and work all the way across this chain to the other side of the bag, and I'll meet you there for the start of our next row. I've worked all the way down my chain, and I am back at our starting spot here. So I have run into the first single crochet that I have there. And now what I'm going to do is just work a single crochet in each of the single crochets from the previous round all the way until we reach the half double crochet. So you see we have our two double crochets together and then our half double crochet. So we're going to work all the way until we get to this one. So all the single crochets we're going to single crochet into, and I'll meet you at this half double crochet and I'll show you what to do next. I've gotten to this part right here. I finished single crocheting in all the single crochet stitches. And now what I'm going to do is single crochet into that half double there. And now I am going to do two double crochets together again, but I'm going to go into this next stitch and then into not this one, but the next one. So I'm going to be skipping the next stitch and doing that. So I'm going to do that two double crochets together. I've got the one on this side and one on this side of that center there. I'm going to put it all together. And then I am going to do a single crochet in this next stitch. And a single crochet all the way up around the bag, around the handle, over to this side. And I'm going to slip stitch into that last single crochet or the first single crochet that I did over here, and I'm going to finish that off. And I'll meet you back at that point when we finish it off. I've completed my next round all the way around to this stitch here. So I've finished all my single crochets and now I'm going to just slip stitch into this first single that we made. I'm going to chain one and I'm going to cut my yarn and then just pull that tight. So we've got that side of the strap is all done. We've gone all the way around our bag. And we're just going to do that on the opposite side. We're going to do the same exact thing all the way around this side. So what we're going to do here is attach our yarn to top stitch here. So into this on that side, we're going to attach our yarn to that chain one space from our square. Like that, and just one slip stitch. And then we are going to single crochet into each stitch all the way down the bag. And you can go back to the instructions for how we did this V on the other side and just recreate that. When you get to this side of the bag, you see how we have the transition there. So you're going to work here and then right into so that stitch, and work right into the edge of the chain. There you can see the other side of this chain. So you've got all of those ridges that we left worked undone. We left unworked. So on the end of each of those, that's where you're going to work. When you get to the end here, that's where you're going to work, is just those chains, the opposite side of those chains. you worked on this side for this portion of the handle or the strap, and then you're just working on that other side. And then that wraps all the way around, and you work on this, go around your second round and all the way, and you end over here with the slip stitch like you did on the other side of the strap. And then your bag is all done, and you just need to weave in your ends if you haven't done that already, like I need to, and your bag is complete at that point. So I hope you had a wonderful time with me today. I'm going to show you the finished bag after I get all of my ends sewn in and I get the rest of my strap completed. I'm going to show you what that looks like. But I hope you had a wonderful time with me, and I can't wait for you to join me for our next project. I hope you have a wonderful day.